Welcome to another episode of Last Week's Comics Today. I have no idea what order these books are in, but we're going to start this week with Shazam. It's been 2 months since the last issue because we were waiting through Night Terrors. But what was happening is the gods, or mostly gods, since Solomon is not. Achilles also wouldn't be. But the rest are gods. They were unhappy with Billy, what he was doing with the powers. This issue does explain sort of what has been happening. And in essence, the gods are taking individual turns influencing Billy once he activates the powers of Shazam, or the Captain, as he's being referred to here. The art is still great, and thankfully I remembered enough of what was going on, and the built-in recap that, oh my god, Monocle Dinosaur. I think this is going to lead probably somewhere terrible, but the auditors. Anyway, I was able to remember enough of what was happening that I picked this up despite the 2-month gap, and everything still made sense to me. There is definitely something weird going on as far as Gorilla City and the moon, and I want to say hallucinations, but the story is fascinating, the art is spectacular, and I very much still enjoy this, even though this cover is a complete lie. Next up is Reflection, which I grabbed off the rack. This is a one-shot. Thankfully, it says that right there on the cover, which I didn't know going in. I just grabbed this off the rack based on a vague description of this opening scene, which is there's a chase. So, chase in the rain. Kind of McFarlane-esque back alley grossness. And this guy gets stabbed. There's this reflection, this face, and then she wakes up. Obviously, same face. Looks mildly different. This one I think is chubbier. But anyway, she is a cop, and she just had a dream about killing someone, is what's happening. And then she goes on to investigate that death the very next page. There's talk also in the solicits of there's references to Blade Runner and Looper and The Departed, and I mostly get Blade Runner, not Looper, maybe, but not really. And then The Departed, I think, is just cops, which is also Blade Runner. I otherwise don't get the references. Whatever, though. So she is dreaming about deaths and then investigating those deaths, and the criminal, the murderer, seems to have her face, and she's investigating why, and there's some conflict going on within the department as far as who's investigating and why, and they shouldn't be, and there's family connections, and it's a little bit political, but it's really very good. I absolutely recommend it. The art is, I think, pretty great. There's a couple of grammatical things where it does lead me further to believe that this was originally published in another country, brought here, translated. But that's fine. I really enjoy comics from other countries because I can't predict what's going to happen as well as US-based, even UK stuff. I think a lot of that stuff becomes predictable, especially over time, and foreign stuff does not have that predictability to me. So if you get the chance, definitely grab this. Up next we have Conan issue 2, and I loved the first issue. Loved it. Issue 2 is not as good. It is very good. It's just not as good as that first issue. We still get plenty of writing, some gorgeous art. It is still Conan versus a horde of zombies, aided by... Look at this. I love this 2-page spread. Look at that. My god, this is gorgeous. It's very good. It's really very good. It's just, I don't think the art versus writing is as in sync as it was in the first issue. This, I guess, is more plot movement. It's a bit less flowery as far as the dialogue, well, not dialogue, but text boxes go. So it's less novel, I would say, and more standard comic book, which is fine. That's what it is. It's just not, I'm saying, as good. It's still very good. Still highly recommended. Looks great, reads fantastically, and I loved it. Sacrificers issue 2. This has me wondering about the length of the overall series. Just yesterday, I believe, news came out that Firepower was ending with issue 30, and I'm wondering how they're going to wrap that story up with as few issues as remain, but whatever. Remender has written some shorter things. I loved Deadly Class, which was 50 something issue, 54, 56. But he's written some shorter things like 7 to Eternity and A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance, which was 17 and 11 issues respectively. I feel like this might be in that vein. It might not be a 50 plus issue story, but it's hard to tell where this is going. This issue it's a walking issue. People walking, people chained up, they're walking. I think we get more information about the world, about the sacrifices, and I don't know. It's good. I'm enjoying it. I think the number of people that are chained up change every time. I haven't counted, but it feels like there are sometimes less, sometimes more. I mean, they should be getting additional as time goes on. It just doesn't feel consistent, and I would like to count that at some point. But there is plenty of information. There are characters being developed here. I mean, look at how many people are... Look at that. That's a lot of additional people. Anyway, they arrive somewhere on the last page, and that sets up something, certainly. I'm unsure where this is going. It does feel very finite, not like an ongoing, but I can't be sure, really, of anything. Next up, we have Once Upon a Time at the End of the World. I have a finger stuck in here because this issue starts with naked people, and I forgot about that. But it is issue 9. There's one issue left in the arc. And I've read stories about breakups before. This feels the most raw to me. Feels the most, I'm going to say, accurate as far as the relationship falling apart. But we get our main characters, and they are both trying to solve the problem that is happening to their city differently and separately. And in that process, each of them is feeling more alone. There's a brilliant page. We get some repeated imagery until we get to this here, which I just think is amazing. I love this page. Holy cow. So, I have no idea where this is going either, because it doesn't seem to be going anywhere good, but it's fantastic, and I love it. Barnstormers issue 3, this is the end of the series, and I was kind of surprised because each of these issues has been double-sized, and we get to the middle here, and suddenly it's the end. Suddenly it's the end, and then there's just what used to be additional comic pages is now a bunch of art. This is nice, but it's also unexpected, and I would have preferred some sort of different printing arrangement as far as what was happening here, so that, I don't know, we got 5 issues instead of 2.5? Yes. I don't know. It's weird. It's good. It ends well. It ends, I think, the only way it could without being devastating. It's good. It will read better collected, that's for sure. But this is good. Still think art-wise, some of the best work Tula Lote had done on this series was all in the first issue, but this is still great. I don't think I have anything else to say. Lastly, as far as single issues go, we have Kill Your Darlings issue 1, and this gave me very serious Joe the Barbarian or I Kill Giants vibes. There is this girl and her mother. So we see, I bet there's going to be a time lapse at some point. There's going to be a jump. Anyway, so she has these daydreams about what are basically her stuffed animals and a war that's being fought with those stuffed animals. So you see there's an elephant and a snake, and mostly she fights against this mouse, maybe a rat. But the mother has some financial issues, and this is happening. So whatever is going on here. But I'll show you what hooked me, which is actually near the end here, and it's this preview. So multi-page preview that was put out. So she's a bit flipping back and forth between the real world and the daydream, and she gets to this cave, and this is amazing. So she's asking what happened. The cave is replying back, a great and terrible evil swept through this land. She's asking, who are you? And then a great and terrible evil. Look at the size of those hands. Good God, I love it. Then there's the last page, which completely blew my mind, and I immediately added this to my pull list. I've said this multiple times this episode, but I love this. This is phenomenal. This is my pick of the week. The art's amazing. The writing is... It's very good. Again, I'm comparing it to Joe the Barbarian, I Kill Giants, which are two of my favorite books. I say favorite a lot too, but this is just incredibly good. And I'm along for wherever this ride is taking me. Highly, highly recommended. Check this out. Actually, lastly, for the week, I grabbed the hardcover of this Koshchei in Hell. And I don't know if this is getting a separate video or not. I don't know if I have anything really to say about it other than just gushing about how great it is. This has been just a phenomenal week for comics. This is, I think, my actual pick of the week. This is really good. You're probably familiar with the art. Look at that. But I was initially not into the Hellboy in Hell stuff. I found Hell to be very strange, which I guess it should be. But I wasn't connecting to it in the way that I'd connected to Hellboy when he was alive. And since then, Hell has been fleshed out to be a fascinating place full of very, very strange and interesting characters, and the connectedness of it over the span of years, I really enjoy. This is phenomenal. Highly recommended. Definitely check this out. $25. You will not regret it. So that is everything that I got this week. I already said Kill Your Darlings is my pick of the week, but also this mind-blowingly good. Sacrificers is going somewhere. I'm sure it will read much better collected than it is as single issues. Conan, fantastic. Reflection, fantastic. And Shazam also exists. So that's everything that I got this week. Much better week of comics this than last. And as always, I get all of my books from a local comic shop. If you don't know where yours is, you can use this URL to find the one closest to you. Thanks for watching.